Hi, I'm Bruce, and in this video we're going to look at how to get connected to the Micromedia web server using Visual Studio Code and an extension for sftp from liximomo. Let's get started. So I've got Visual Studio Code open, and I'm connected to the Web 2, and I've got an account set up for a demo student. So this will be in two parts. In the first part, it will be if you don't have any files from last year and you're starting fresh. And then in the second part, I'm going to show you if you have your files from last year, from Web 1, and you just want to add Web 2, then I'll show you how to do that as well in the second part. You can skip there now. There should be a link down below. So you can see here I've got Visual Studio Code open. I've got a folder here that will be my root folder for the web, and I just need to drag that folder into Visual Studio Code and in order to open that folder. So in my extensions, if you don't already have it, I've installed sftp from liximomo, right? So you might need to install that, and if you haven't already got it installed. So now what I want to do is I want to set up a connection. On a Mac, I'm going to hit Command-Shift-P in order to call up the commands prompt. And then I'm going to start typing SFTP. And what we want to do is configure our SFTP client. So I'm going to hit Config. And then it gives us a JSON or JavaScript object notation file in order to configure our SFTP, our secure file transfer protocol connection. So we can call the server by any name. Obviously, in this case, it's 2022 micromediaweb.com. Server, we can call it that, but really the important thing is that our host is 2022 micromediaweb.com. So I've copied and pasted that there. Username is your student number. So my student number is 1111111, or at least for this demo client it is. And then the remote path is /home. So I'm going to enter in home / my student number. 11111, that's 7 ones. Hopefully it looks like 6 maybe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so there's the 7th one. And I put a trailing slash at the end to make sure it sees it as a folder. So now I'm going to enter in the password. So I'm just going to start typing password and then click on it. You can see it gives us well-formatted JSON or JavaScript object notation. And then I'm going to enter in the password and I'm going to save it. And I'll just close that, and then I'll bring it back up here. And so now we should be able to create a connection to our server. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new file. And I'm going to call it index.html. And then over here, I'm going to hit bang or exclamation point and tab. And this will give us a starting HTML or some base HTML for our document. So this will be demo 11111111 home page. Well, just demo 111. And then we'll add in an H1. So I just typed H1 and then tab. And then demo home page for 1111111. Okay. And if we upload that, we can see down here it uploaded and said done. And then if I come back to here and replace this with 7 ones and get rid of the Web 2, we haven't made any folder yet, then you can see I've got my page here. If I come back here and add something, so a paragraph, this is just a demo. And then save again, so Command S or Control S on a PC, and then upload. I'm using a shortcut, but we can right click. Well, let me right click up here so you can see it and click upload, or we can right click here in the Explorer and click upload, and you can see it uploads. So if I come back here now and hit refresh, you can see the page uploads. It refreshes. So for Web 2. what I've asked you to do is to create a folder, call it for Web 2. So I'm right-clicking and doing New Folder, and I'm typing Web 2, no spaces, no capitals, no underscores, no nothing, but A to Z, 0 to 9, underscore, and hyphen, but in this case there's none of that stuff. Inside Web 2, I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it index as well. So that's the index page is the page that opens when you go to a folder and don't specify which file you want. So you can see I've got two indexes. I've got one here in my root folder, right, which corresponds with home and then my student number /. And if I type in index.html here, you can see it's the same file. And I've got a second one now inside Web 2. So we're about to build that one. So again, bang, tab. And this will be And this will be Web 2 for 111111. And we'll do an H1, Web 2. So now I've got my home page for Web 2, and if I click on the little arrow here, you can see, right, that home page or index file is there, and I'll upload it. And if I come back here and type Web 2, now you can see it's taken me to the Web 2 folder, and we've got the content that I put on the page there. So let's link those two up. So I'm going to go back to, let me just close these to make sure we're opening the right file. So I'm going back to my home page, my root, and I'm going to add a link. So P, right angle A, and then hit tab, and I'm going to type in Web 2 with a trailing slash, so it will go to that folder. And then type in here, Web 2, so people will know it's the link to Web 2. Now if I upload that and come back here and refresh, we can see I've added that link to Web 2, and if I click on it, it takes me to Web 2. Now I'm going to go into my Web 2 page, home page or index page, and I'll link back to the main page. So paragraph, anchor, hit tab, and I'm going to go .. so it's going to take me up a folder and look for that index file, and then I will put home and upload that, and if I come over here and refresh, click on home, it takes me back to the home page, so my root folder, click on Web 2, it takes me back into my Web 2 page. Now obviously normally you'd like some sort of a nav with a consistent buttons across the top and things like that, but we can do that another time. Okay, so let me just delete this for now. I'm going to delete it right here from my local folder, or my local computer. And I'm also going to click on this icon here that has the page with a little cloud and connect to my files on the server. And I'm going to delete the Web 2 folder on the server as well. And if I refresh, you can see that Web 2 folder has disappeared. Notice all these dot folders and dot files. They're needed by the system. Just leave them there. If you delete them, then it can cause problems in your on your web server or in your account. Okay, so now we're going to pretend that we've got, I'm going to go back to my local files. So if you you still have your Web 1 folder. So I'm assuming that you've got your Web 1 folder from last semester, and inside your Web 1 folder you've got an index file. And I'll just put a quick little something here. So this will be Web 1, and I'll type H1 Web 1. And then from Web 1, I'm going to create that link back to the home page. So .. to go up a folder. And I'll save that. And so obviously now you'll have all your, for you would have all your assignments and all your links and everything from Web 1 in this location. And let me just close this folder. Right? So you're starting off this semester and you come here, you've got your files from last semester, something like this, where you've got your student number and then you've got Web 1, you might have a lot of other files and things like that. Ideally, they're all organized into Web 1. Feel free to reorganize them if you want. So we're going to start off, I'm just going to drag that folder into Visual Studio Code. You should see, right, a .vs code folder plus an sftp JSON file that's already there. And if you click on your Web 1, you should see all the work that you've done for Web 1, etc. So all you have to do is just do new folder, do Web 2, and then do the same as we did before. We're going to create a new file. It's going to be called index.html. And then if you hit bang tab, then it should give you starting HTML to get going. And so H1, so this is Web 2. And then from here, we're going to create a couple of links. So let's do it this way. We're going to do a header, nav, and then I'm going to do 2 different links. Actually 3 different links to our homepage, to Web 1, and then a link to Web 2. And so I've typed that out in, I guess, Markdown or for Emmet. And then I'm going to type in .. to take us back up a folder to our homepage. I'm going to type .. so it goes back up our folder, and then I'm going to go into Web 1, and so that will be our Web 1 homepage. And then if I do just .. like this, it will stay in this folder, and this will be Web 2. And I'm going to upload that. And now if I go back to here and refresh, you can see I can go into Web 2, and from Web 2 I've got my little nav, and I can go into Web 1. So now we're in Web 1. Go back to the home page. I can go into Web 2. I can go and back into Web 1, etc. But say I want to link up my home page back with both Web 1 and Web 2. What I can do is just copy this header with the nav and paste that into my home page. Now I have to change things a little bit because already we're in this folder, right? So I'm in my root folder already, my student number, so I'm right here. So for my home page, I just stay in this folder. For Web 1, I just go into Web 1, and for Web 2, I just go into the Web 2 folder. So it's going to go in there, look for the index, and we should be good. So I'm going to save this, upload it, and if I come back here and refresh my home page, now you can see I've got my home page, which stays in this page. I've got Web 1, takes me to Web 1. I've got Web 2, takes me to Web 2, and we're all good. All right? Now, for your exercises, what I might suggest is something like this. You can create a new file, and maybe, like I did, we'll call it transitions.html, and then we can start that. So this is exercise 1.2, transitions, and then we'll do an H1, and my name is Bruce, and an H2 or H3, I like to skip one, and we'll do exercise 1.2 transitions, and I will put my challenge exercise here. So we'll save that, and that should be good. And then if we wanted to link to this transitions page from our Web 2, we just have to come back here and do something like this. So I'll just put in a little horizontal rule, and then I'll put in a paragraph and a link to transitions. And I can do 1.2 transitions. Save that and upload it. make sure I've uploaded transitions. And now if I come back here to Web 2, I can see, right, I've got my header bar, or my nav up top. And if I go here, then I can see, right, my transitions page, and I can link back just by going back. Or of course, I can copy this. I can copy the header, and I could also put that into this transitions page right up at the top. Right, so we've got our header up top, and then we've got our content here, and this is another great way of doing. Obviously, you can use CSS to make this look good, add some styles to it, and beautify your page a little bit. But this works as well. Hopefully you're all connected now and ready to get going. You should have an index file in your root or your home directory that links to your web courses, so Web 1 and Web 2. You should have a folder named Web 2 with an index file in that, where you've got all your work for your Web 2 course, and then you can make links from your Web 2 homepage or index.html page to all your assignments and exercises. I hope this helps.